Greetings and salutations. We are back again. Literally, I just signed off with the One Talent Challenge, and we're back to do more of it and head through Act 5. This is going to be the first half of Act 5. Now, like I said in the last video, there's going to be two major hurdles to overcome, and I'm hoping I can do it, but we'll see. I would prefer to really see this get into Nightmare and kind of go further. But so far, I've been pretty happy with the way the Druid has worked out on the One Talent Challenge. I think if I was to do this One Talent Challenge in the future, I would try a different route. Maybe I would go Firestorm. I'll have to see how that plays out. But I'm just gonna kind of do what I normally do, when it comes to the One Talent Challenge and the discussions I have in the videos. More of just like a stream of consciousness, it's kind of weird because I sat there thinking about it, and when I'm doing But Will It Snipe, which isn't as popular on the channel as the Diablo 2 content, which seems kind of weird that the Diablo 2 content would be rather interesting. I mean, they're both challenges in their own right. Like, the Diablo 2 one is the One Talent Challenge, and then the other one, the Call of Duty one, is the But Will It Snipe Challenge. So I'm taking weapons that aren't meant to do long-distance shots and going from there. But you'd figure that the Call of Duty one would have more eyeballs on it because more people tend to play shooters, especially in this day and age, than not, given the fact that the shooter genre is one of the most popular. Just look at all the games that are out there that are shooters. First Ascendant, Valorant, CSGO, Rainbow Six Siege, Call of Duty, Overwatch. I mean, I could go on. Team Fortress still exists. But I mean, I could just keep going and going and going. And with it being such a popular genre, you'd figure that you'd see, but more people would watch it than Diablo 2. And I'm kind of shocked that they're not. I think the reason why people tune in is because they want to see my character bite the big one in hardcore. And they want to see if I, have that, like, typical meltdown that most gamers have. And it's like, I don't melt down over stuff. And I get to the point where, I get the feeling of being defeated, and I'm just kind of like, all right, yeah, whatever, kill me, I've done that in Call of Duty multiple times. I was like, right, whatever, kill me. It's like this... this round is absolutely cooked. But in this, it's more of like an acceptance thing. It's, making a hardcore character, it's going to eventually die. It's going to run into something that will kill it. That's just the natural law of probabilities. Just, law of probabilities is unavoidable. You could apply that anywhere in the universe. The law of probabilities is just unavoidable. However, I do it because I enjoy the challenge. But I'm surprised it gets more eyeballs than other games. I really am. I would love to make my way further into the the Pokemon battling space, as I mentioned in the earlier video. But this just gets like 500% more viewers than most of my But Will It Snipes. I think my But Will It Snipe videos, I think one of them got to like 7 views, 8 views, and that's the highest one. The lowest one of these Diablo videos got to 12. Now, it doesn't seem like much, everybody's like, wow, only 12 views? Well, yeah, hey, but, with a channel with only 4 subscribers and it only gets 12 views, considering it's raw, unedited content, and I'm not showing the best of the best or the worst of the worst, you get it as it is. It's very genuine, which is what I like most about it. It's genuine gameplay. It's as it happens. It's as it goes. But the fact that it gets, 12 views isn't bad. Given the fact that I'm playing a game that came out in, 2021? I think? Well, at least the relaunch came out in 2021. And it's like I'm playing an older game, and I'm doing something that I'm sure has been done before. If it hasn't, well, maybe that's the niche. Maybe that's the niche I need to keep taking. If not, then we'll just see. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's much more popular. At least 2 times as popular, and in the later videos, it's 8 to 9 times more popular. So I'll keep doing it if it keeps, if people keep liking it. If people enjoy it, then I'll keep playing it. That has absolutely no skills on it, so that's not worth anything. And yes, I did gamble all of my character's money away for specific items. I was trying to get items that had plus to skills, like Tarnhelm. Couldn't get it, but I was trying. Because plus to skills, getting that extra Raven hits and extra Raven damage could be the deciding factor in the future. And if I can find a helmet that's got, plus to Ravens on it, I'll put it on in a heartbeat. Because that extra damage. I kind of want to make the Insight polearm, but I don't have the stuff for that either. Because if I can find a good 4-socketed polearm and make the Insight, I will have more mana to work with, and I will have more health regen just from Insight being meditation on top of prayer. There's Shank. I think this just gets me to have a no, wait, this isn't the personalized item. This is add sockets to an item. That's what it is. I get to add sockets, which doesn't do me any good. Oh, then again, I guess I can get a white piece of gear and then add sockets to the white piece of gear. Get the max number of sockets in it.
Catapults have been silenced.
Find a good polearm, put the 4 sockets in it. There's the 4-socketed polearm for Insight. I could go that route. Where am I going to get a good 4-socketed polearm, or a good polearm that I can put 4 sockets in? Whoa.
What do you need?
Let's take a look here. See, you can't use blue weapons, so that's completely out of the question. But I'd have to find a place that's selling, like, white quality equipment, and then bring it here and get it socketed, and then hope that I have the runes for the Insight polearm, which I can't even remember what that is off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up again, because it's been a while. Ooh, wait a minute. Doom Grinder, that's kind of a disgusting name. It's a Doom Grinder, really? Very fast attack speed. Not fire resist. Doesn't have lifesteal, that's okay. It's got big fire and cold damage, though. That elemental damage is kind of nice. You know what? Goodbye. Ethereal Mace. I know in the last episode I was like, I'm going to use it till it breaks. Well, no, I found something better. Sorry. You've been replaced. You've been economically downsized. Ooh. He always drops good stuff. I think it's because his treasure class is higher than others. Ooh, I think that's got lifesteal on it too. Ah, yes, these things. The demon imps and the demon rascals. Aren't they just great? They're not. Don't let them. Don't let anybody tell you they are. I'd have to say they're one of the most annoying mobs in the entire game.
I can't.
Can't. Oh right, I have a mace in there. Not a good one either. I'm gonna have to make another trip to town. I don't have a whole lot of inventory room. That's alright though. Ooh, amulet. Kill the tower, maybe? Okay, there you go. I don't even have 100% accuracy against a door. The, my guy can't hit the door. He can't even hit a door.
Thanks.
I mean, that's just sad. It reminds me of those people that are on like those HGTV makeover shows where they like try to redo a house or something, and you see the guy swing a hammer and he completely misses what he's aiming for. That's my druid right now. Just can't hit anything. Well, at least I can hit the barricade. I have to look for these stupid barbarians up here in the hills. That got captured. Never understood why those guys like stomped on the ground like that. Like you see them, they stomp on the ground and it shakes the screen. But it doesn't do anything. It's not like it does damage. It doesn't stun you. It's just an inconvenience. It's just like, oh, I'm just gonna shake the screen to annoy this guy. Yeah, thanks. Great job. There's plate mail and a maul. If I can find a good white quality pole arm, I can grab that. But it can't be anything. Ooh, wait.
Can't carry anymore.
Shock. That's socketed. I have to go check it out. I need to know what the insight pole arm is. The insight rune word. I would have helped if I had gone over to Deckard Cain, but no. Had a brain fart.
Good evening.
Oh, thank you, Deckard. It is indeed a good evening. Oh yeah, that's garbage. That's garbage too. Wow. I literally have found trash. Oh. Real quick, I'm gonna check out what the insight rune word is. Because if I can Raltir Tal Soul. I don't think I have a soul rune. I think that's gonna be the breaking moment for me. I have the Ral, the Tyr, and the Tal. The soul rune I don't have. And it's 2-socketed anyway, so get out of here. Oh, and diamond's not bad. If I find a 3-socketed shield, I could also make King's Grace. That gives me all resists. Out of a Ralor Tal. That might also be a worthwhile endeavor. Ooh, light crossbow. Now, I can do edge in a crossbow. The question is do I want to? And that's a puzzle that I don't know if I should put a lot of thought into right yet. I'm more worried about not taking too many fireballs to the dome. I just cast Raven like 3 times and it didn't cast it because apparently I was casting it on the wall. It's like, well, I appreciate you for being very honest about that game. You Ravens want to attack that barricade, or you just want to sit there looking at it? Still looking for all the barbarians, too. But I just... Sometimes I often wonder if the game was programmed properly, because look at that. Oh, there's one that's actually attacking tower. The rest just stood there like, it's a tower. Yes, and it needs to be gone. That way I don't have to worry about being assaulted by demon rascals from the top of it. Oh, wait. That might be 4-socketed. Or 1-socketed, and it just makes a mockery out of me. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. Now, when I'm doing like a paladin, because I've thought about doing a paladin in the next one if this one dies. And ooh, maiden spear. That's gonna have plus to Amazon and skills. Not that it's gonna be worth anything, but it's gonna have plus to Amazon skills. But I thought about doing a paladin, and I thought about doing like an aura stack paladin. Like I do thorns, and then I put on. I get a mercenary that has an aura, and then his aura. I put an item on him that has an aura, and I try to get as many auras stacked up as possible. Of course, the edge bow would not be worth anything in that run because I'm going to be using thorns. That means I would have to go with like. Wait, let's rethink this. What if I went a prayer paladin? I go a prayer paladin and get a whole bunch of life back, but it costs me mana. So then I put into energy and stamina, and then I run around with an Amazon from Act 1, who is elemental damage, and then she wears thorns with the edge bow. Then again, that's banking on finding the runes, which we've seen exactly how my rune finding has gone in this game. Maybe the Thorns play is a better play. Go with Thorns and then get the Act 2 Mercenary and get Defiance. Stack up on the defense. I mean, it's possible. Places like Abaddon here have a higher treasure class, but not to break away from my thought process on, what I want to do with a paladin. This has higher treasure class than other places, so you will get better loot in here than you would outside of here. monsters are marginally harder too, but the balance is that the treasure class is better. Bloodlords right there specifically because they have Frenzy. They have Frenzy, and then I think they have Double Swing. Which makes them really heinously strong in large numbers. You take them one at a time, and they're not that bad, but once you start getting them like that right there... And my mercenary's dead. Ow. See what I mean?
Good afternoon.
They're very, very upset.
Stay a while and listen.
Afternoon.
I don't think I'll stay a while, Deckard. I think I'll be on my way.
Afternoon.
But how do they know it's afternoon? There's no day-night cycle. There's no... Well, maybe there is a day-night cycle that I'm not aware of, but there's no actual, like, clock in the game. I don't mean my clock. I mean, like internal day-night clock in the game. Ravens blinding the targets is also huge, too. Ow. Because when they blind the target, it's not just a fact of he has lower accuracy. It means that you literally cannot see... He cannot see me if I'm, like, farther away from the target. So their aggro radius is reduced as well. Nice. Still can't use those. Yeah, I think I need to start putting points into dexterity. I need to really get my hit rating up and everything. Ooh, there's the rune. There's one of the runes that I need, the Om rune. I might just be able to do it. But man, is it going to be dicey, because then I don't have block. Which means I'd have to be doubly careful. But it might be the difference between making Nightmare and not. Because it gets, like, level 18 thorns. Which... Oh! What are they doing out there? Check, please. I'll take it because it's free experience, but what if they had dropped a unique out there? I'd have had to go gamble for a thing of telekinesis to come in here and use a charge to pick it up. And yes, that's how you would have to do that, because telekinesis can actually pick up items from distance. Telekinesis also did a small amount of damage. I wonder if they've actually buffed that. I haven't checked. That's kind of weird, because I don't remember any sorceresses using telekinesis. Mana Shield, I remember. Teleport, I remember. Then they would just use, like, Thunderstorm and something else. But, like, I don't ever remember them using, like, telekinesis. So I wonder if telekinesis actually got a buff. Because they did make changes to this game to try to inspire people to try new abilities and new talents. One of which was they buffed summoning druids. And one of the things they buffed with summoning druids is actually their ravens. And the fact that you can summon all of your summons at the same time. It used to be you could have ravens and wolves, ravens and dire wolves, or ravens and a bear. But you could also get an oak sage at the same time, and a creeper plant. Outside of that, you were pretty much just stuck with ravens as your only form of damage. which was awful because, well, back then they didn't do anything. The only thing they did like 12 to 15 damage at level 20, but they had like 38 hits. Ravens back then were awful, and they gave no synergy. So they did change some things for this iteration of Diablo, which I like. And I'm glad they did. Also going to look up the edge bow weapon. Or the edge rune weapon. Because if I can make it, now we're talking. Let me do that real quick now that there's no monsters around me here. Edge rune word. Edge rune word is tier tel and I have exactly that now. Question is, do I do it? I'm thinking, yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I have no secondary weapon, so that works fine for me. Alright, so it's tier tel there's a hunter's bow just for it. Tier. Ooh, I almost put a ral in there. That'd have been bad. Tal. Edge. Level 15 thorns. There's the thorns. Now, again, that doesn't extend to the ravens, sadly, but it only extends to my mercenary. However, I mean, my attack rating is just as bad. Actually, it's not as bad. I still have a decent chance to hit him.
Good day.
But the Thorns aura might make it so that I can just destroy mobs. Ooh, lightning. Alright, well, we'll sell the Greater Charm of Strength, because I don't really need the plus to Strength anymore. Faster hit recovery is helpful. The poison bonus damage doesn't help anymore. That doesn't really help anymore either. And we don't really need the stamina potions anymore either. But we're gonna see what we can do. Now, if I can, I think I can actually. Nope, I can't see my thorns. I was gonna say I thought I could see the thorns of what damage it does. So now we got 2 auras going. And when my mercenary gets struck, I didn't need that. I accidentally clicked it. Oh well. Fat little sausage fingers clicking all over the place. So now when he gets struck in melee combat, what am I picking up? I just went all Fred Sanford. Being a trash collector. Now when he gets struck in melee combat, he does an awful lot of damage back to the enemy, which is going to be huge. I mean, I'm not meant to do the damage. I'm just meant to be the aura. It's a change of roles, is what it is. Like, I'm the mercenary, and now he's the player. Oh, that does do damage when he stomps on the ground. I did not know that. Okay, quit stomping on the ground. I don't need to be losing all my life. Like, I personally like doing the edge bow with thorns. I mean, because the amount of melee damage you run into in this game is astronomical.
Let us out! Let us out!
There, I let you out. Stupid barbarians blithering all the time. You'd think, as a barbarian, they would be like, you know, I don't need to be let out. I can let myself out. You know? But no, they're just, let us out. It's like, wait a minute. You're supposed to be barbarians. You're supposed to be like ferocious, you know, dual-wielding madmen. But you're just over there crying about it. Like, what's going on? It's like, you know, why aren't you a mad lad? Let's get over there and be a complete mental. There's 5 of them in there, too. They can't break down that little flimsy gate. Maybe they don't have fire resist. Maybe that's why. Maybe because, you know, they're barbarians and they're used to the cold weather. They don't have fire resist, and so they're worried about the demons just, like, absolutely charring them to a crisp. That's gotta be it. It's gotta be the reason they don't break out. I wish the barbarians in the first section, when you're going up the mountain there to finish off the siege against Shank, I wished all those barbarians followed you until they died. That'd be cool. Not like giving you experience, but just following you and keeping minions off of you. And they're there till they keel over dead. I think that'd be cool. Personally. Because then it would give the feel like this is, you know, Harrogath fighting against everything. Like they're fighting back against the demons. At least in Diablo 3, they kind of had that feeling, because, like, in Diablo 3, you had the Worldstone Keep siege, and you see the siege going on in the background, and it's like, yeah, you want to be down there, but that's not how the game was designed. However, it made you feel like they were actually doing their part, instead of just being completely helpless. But then, you know, I get why they didn't want to do that, because they want to make the character obviously have, like, anime protag syndrome, where they think that they're their own main character in their life. I mean, which, in anybody's life, you should be your own main character, right? It's your life, be your own main character, right? But that's a weird social dynamic if you think about it, right? Everybody's their own main character. Everybody's writing their own story in life. But in other people's lives, you are a secondary character. You're a background character in another person's story. I back the Unleashed. He never drops anything good. I missed a set of barbarians. I gotta go back and find them. Otherwise, I'm gonna be... Because I want another Ral or a Tal set of runes. Stop trying to hit me and hit me. Thorn Paladins are so much fun, though. But no, back to the social dynamic thing. I mean, I get a little bit sidetracked sometimes when I see something that works properly, like Thorns. It's interesting. It's a game mechanic that I think they need to add to other things, is a Thorns mechanic. But the whole social dynamic thing about, you know, being a main character, secondary character in people's lives, you'd never really put a lot of thought into it till you take a step back and look at it from a macro perspective, like a macrocosm, right? You are your own main character in your life, as well you should be. Just like I am my own main character in my life, and, you know, your good friend is their own main character in their life, so on and so forth, right? And with that, you should be, like, it should be no surprise that people are like that. But then you really look at it when you take a step back and say, wait a minute. But to other people's stories, I am merely just a background character. I'm, you know, friend A or friend B. And then you think to yourself, do I have to be a primary character in their story? And that raises a whole set of questions about, you know, societal norms and societal, like, kind of even along the lines of like societal discourse, in the sense that you want to be important, which everybody is. Everybody's important to somebody. It's true. And people would say, oh, well, what about, and they'll give a, you know, generally a good case study of a person who's not a very good individual, but they'll say, is that person important to somebody? Well, yes, at one point in time they were. I mean, they had family. Growing up, they were important to somebody. Growing up, somebody was, you know, Sharptooth Slayer. Growing up, they were important to somebody, and somebody was important to them. You know, they had that dynamic, that social dynamic, that they were, you know, a secondary character, but yet still important. I mean, you could pick any historical figure that was a complete and utter loon, like, you know, as much as he was a loon, Charles Manson, right? Let's take Charles Manson for an example. I'm sure somewhere along his life, he had people that were important to him before he went off the rails and went, you know, before he, you know, lost his noodle. I'm sure when he was, you know, a normal individual back when he was a kid, that he had important people in his life. I'm sure that's the case. And it makes you wonder, does that person who knew him back then look back on it and say, how did he go so wrong? Or did they look back on it and say, I should have seen the signs before? It raises interesting questions. And it also raises interesting questions on the social dynamic they had moving forward once they knew who he was. Like, but to pull it out to a more broad scale, let's dial it back to, like, you or me, right? Now, you or I are just Johnny Everyman. We're normal people living a normal life. Pretty straightforward assumption. Pretty straightforward, set of circumstances. Yet we all still have that paradoxical, I am somebody else's secondary character. We are all primary and secondary characters in life. We're also tertiary characters in life too, which is just incredibly interesting to me anyway. It's incredibly interesting because I look at it from that point of view of, yes, you're important, as all people are, but at the same time, huh? Oh, right, the Maiden Spear. It's like, these people are important, as all people are, and then at the same time, you're like, but somewhere in the world, they're not. And that could be the same said for anybody. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, doesn't matter who it is. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris. Doesn't matter. You can pick anybody. Just spin the wheel, pick somebody, and I can guarantee you that somewhere on this world they don't know who they are. There are people that live on Sentinel Island that have never come out of the Stone Age. They literally haven't. They are an Aboriginal people that have lived off the coast of India on Sentinel Island, and they don't know who anybody is, and we don't know who they are. So relevance, in that sense of a social dynamic of first person, second person, first person, primary character, secondary character in life, that social dynamic kind of also applies everywhere, which is odd. We're going to the Pit of Archeron. This may be my undoing, but you know what? We're going to undo it together. Yeah, see right there. That right there is the Thorns damage at work. But I sit there and I constantly think about a lot of things. Like, it is that line that we ride every single day of being a primary and secondary character at the same time. But I think some people can't really quantify it completely. Not that it's a bad thing. Like, whenever I say something like people can't quantify that, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Because, as some people have once said, the smarter you are, the more problems you have. And the more you know, the more problems arise. So, there's something that can be said for just being oblivious to these things occurring. Oh, that's such a great helmet, and I can't keep it. It's a shame. But there's a benefit to being oblivious to certain things. Really. And there are times that I sit there and I think to myself, I wish I were oblivious to certain things. I wish that I didn't not really know what I know, but I wish that I didn't have as a keen and penetrating mind when it comes to certain things. Because there's a drawback. The number of times I've heard you're smarter than you should be. You're too smart for your own good. I've heard that a lot. And really thinking about it, please be 4-socket. Yes! Ha ha ha! Now, I don't have the soul rune, but I have the others. That's going to be an insight polearm. So we're getting there. But no, it's having that level of insight toward things does become an issue. Because you have that want to talk to somebody about that and have that conversation with somebody, and they're more worried about things that are in their immediate area, that they don't think outside of the box. It's a double-edged sword. It really is. And same can be said for people that are, for lack of a better term, not that I'm trying to throw any shade or throw anybody under the bus, blissfully ignorant. Because they used to say ignorance is bliss. It's a double-edged sword for both people. Because those that are unaware and go through life unaware of certain things will eventually be burned by the things they are unaware of. Whereas those that are aware will... Ouch, that was painful. Whereas people that are aware won't be burned by the things they are aware of because they're aware of them, but they're burdened by knowing. As weird as that sounds. I believe it sounds it sounds really weird when you say you're burdened by knowledge. It's true. And sometimes the burden is stress. Sometimes the burden is a physical burden because you know something's going to happen, but you can't tell people because they won't believe you. And so you bear that almost fake plastered smile as like everything's okay, even though you know it's not. So that burden is a very physical burden, and it weighs heavily on your mind too. It's one of those things. Now, I'm not saying this in like the conspiratorial sense where it's like, oh, I know something that's going to occur that others do not. Haha. No, not at all. I'm talking from the mindset of you know something that could benefit people, but you can't tell them because they would never believe you anyway. That type of burden. Like if I was to tell somebody or extol the benefits of, say, all natural homeopathic things, which, if it works for people, it works for people. Some people it doesn't work for, other people it does. It's a case by case basis. But it's like if it's not gonna hurt you to try it, try it. Like many different things. I've taken many different homeopathic remedies that have worked. For a cough, garlic and honey. And then you let it ferment on your tabletop for a week. You have to stir it every day, otherwise it explodes, and you have to put it in a glass jar, because you put it in plastic, it's not good. However, something like that, I could extol the virtues of that remedy, but only to those that would sit there and actually listen. Those that don't listen and aren't willing to try it, it's like, well, then how would you know it doesn't work? They think it's quackery. To each their own. And it's like, I want to help them, but they don't want the help. This is why I think certain social things are quite interesting. Because it creates interesting new dynamics, and I can't even say thought processes, but just interesting, I don't know, avenues of thought, let's just say. I didn't really want to get all philosophical in this episode, but here we are. Happens a lot. I end up going off on, a few psychological jaunts here and sociological jaunts, and I just kind of go with it. I mean, to some people it'll be interesting, and to others it won't be. And to those that it's not interesting, I apologize. I could have talked about something more scintillating, I guess, or more apropos to what I'm doing. But when you're playing Diablo 2 and you just kind of have an open forum and nothing really to add or to talk about, because there's nothing really going on in the game. We're not to a big section in the game where it has to be something important. There's no big crossroads we have to worry about. And nothing is anecdotally happening, per se. Ooh, field plate. 2-socketed field plate? We will hold on to you. That's my appointment. I have an appointment this Friday with a nutritionist as well as a naturopath. And so, yeah. I don't want to get the curse because I don't want to lose my experience bonus. Nice. Absolute dog water drop rate. Oh, there's the Arreat Plateau. Wow. I've only been doing this for 50 minutes and I've only gotten to the Arreat Plateau? Yikes. But I'm going to have to leave that one here. I did not want it to go on for 50 minutes. I was hoping that it was going to get further than I did. I believe it's Tal F for stealth. Let me check. I believe it's Tal F. Yep, Tal F. Stamina, dexterity, poison resistance, regenerate mana, faster hit recovery. Yeah, we're gonna stealth this up. That's what we're gonna do. So where's my Tal? There's my Tal, and then my F. See? Considering I don't have a chance of blocking now, I can slap that on and throw Twitch Throw there. Stealth is not a bad armor. I mean, it gives faster run walk, and the faster hit recovery is even better than the Twitch Throw. So, all the better. Oh, yeah, right. It's the amulet. Ugh, 3 strength.
Hello.
I have to go talk to Paul Keck to get more.
Thank you.
There we go. My runes. All 3 of them. Fort, Ral, and Tal. There we go. But I'm going to end this here. I hope you had a wonderful time, and I kind of apologize for the rambling dissertation about social dynamics. But if you like it, I can always do more. I could go on and on about a lot of things. But I hope everybody has a fantastic evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.